Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and this is another edition of Robinson Responds. I'm here to give you my thoughts on Week 13's Sunday NFL action. So let's get right to it. Sunday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers took on the Buffalo Bills. It was a snow game, and the 49ers, they looked like, if you watched that game on Sunday night, it looked like they just wanted to get up out of there, and this was Buffalo's night. You know, Buffalo, some of the most diehard, some of the most high-spirited, and some of the most diehard sports fans, not just in the NFL, but really in all of professional sports. It was a sellout crowd at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, where just the stadium is just outside of Buffalo, and the Bills handled their business, beating the 49ers 35-10. So for Buffalo, quarterback Josh Allen completed 13 out of 17 passes for 148 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and he also had a rushing touchdown and a touchdown reception. Allen became the first player in NFL history to throw a touchdown pass, score a rushing touchdown, and catch a touchdown pass in a single game. So while Buffalo was on cloud nine on Sunday night in the midst of the snow, the 49ers continue to battle injuries and inconsistencies. In the second quarter, running back Christian McCaffrey suffered an injury to his right knee. The injury happened after McCaffrey took a pitch from quarterback Brock Purdy, where he barely moved with the ball before slowing to a limp. Then sliding into the snow, which covered the stadium, he avoided contact and he signaled for medical attention. And the worst that has happened with the official diagnosis is that McCaffrey suffered a PCL injury in his right knee. So the 49ers are going to place him on injured reserve, and he will be out for at least 6 weeks. So he will miss the remainder of the regular season, but there is a chance that he could return for the playoffs, depending on what happens with the 49ers. I mean, there's still a chance that they can still win the NFC West, but it's going to be tough because the way the Seattle Seahawks have been playing as of late. And don't count out the Los Angeles Rams either. I'll get more into the Seahawks and Rams in just a little bit. But again, 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey suffered a PCL injury in his right knee. The 49ers have placed him on injured reserve, so he will be out for at least 6 weeks, which means that he'll miss the remainder of the regular season. And going forward, we'll see what happens if the 49ers do have a playoff run. Can he make it for the wild card game, perhaps? We'll see. Only time will tell. But, again, that's a tough break for Christian McCaffrey, one of the best, not just running backs in the league, but one of the best players in the league. And certainly McCaffrey coming back from the Achilles tendonitis, trying to fight his way back from that injury, and now he's got this to deal with, so that's a tough break. And also another tough break for the 49ers is that they don't have enough injuries to deal with. McCaffrey's backup, running back Jordan Mason, he suffered a high ankle sprain, which is going to place him on injured reserve at least until Week 18, which is the final week of the regular season. So you've got Brandon Ayuk out for the year. Dre Greenlaw, we still have not seen him this year. Talanoa Hufanga, still battling injuries. Nick Bosa is out with an injury. Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, they both battled injuries. And now you've got not only Jordan Mason, who is Christian McCaffrey's backup, but you've got Christian McCaffrey, who just came back from an Achilles injury. Now he's dealing with a knee injury, man. When they say it rains, it pours, and it's certainly for the San Francisco 49ers, man. This has just been a year just filled with injuries, inconsistencies, and just a lot of bad luck, man. And just never really finding their groove. And certainly there's a lot that's going to be done in the offseason, I'm pretty sure, in terms with the 49ers. Also, just some more news to pass along to you in terms of Week 13's action. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Baltimore Ravens 24-19. So the Eagles are rocking and rolling right now. Saquon Barkley, he had 23 carries for 107 yards and a rushing touchdown. Right now, if I had to vote for the MVP, it would be Saquon Barkley. He has been such a difference maker and an X factor for the Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts is playing great football right now, but give a lot of credit also, too, to the Eagles defense. Jalen Carter and company, they shut down Baltimore's offense. Baltimore, coming into this game, was like top 5 in the league in offense. Lamar Jackson, he couldn't do anything. Derrick Henry, he couldn't do anything. The Eagles defense, they came ready to play. So Philly is going to be a problem, and they're getting better week after week after week. And it's going to be, at least in my opinion, it's going to be a chase for home field in the number 1 spot in the NFC between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's going to be a dogfight as we get closer to the end of the regular season. In overtime, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Carolina Panthers 26-23. Bryce Young looking much better since coming back from his benching and reclaiming the starting job as the quarterback. Tough loss in overtime, but Bryce has been playing much better. So be on the lookout for Carolina going forward, man. It could be, things take time, and slowly but surely, Bryce is finding his groove, and we'll see what happens. And as for the Buccaneers, that was an important win for them to stay alive in the playoff hunt. The Los Angeles Rams beat the New Orleans Saints 21-14. A tough break for the Saints, man. Taysom Hill, it's confirmed that he will be out for the year after suffering a torn ACL in his knee. Hill suffered the injury when the Saints were going for a 4th-down conversion. It was successful, but unfortunately the team paid the price, and Taysom again suffered a torn ACL in his knee, and he is done for the year. So when you think about Taysom Hill, and he's one of the most dynamic players in the NFL. Yeah, they have him listed on the depth chart for the Saints as a tight end. However, Taysom is like a Swiss Army knife. He's one of those dynamo players. You put him at tight end, put him at wide receiver, put him at quarterback, put him at running back, or even fullback. It doesn't matter. Taysom will find ways to get it done. And since he's been in New Orleans, he's been such a unique part of that offense during the Sean Payton era, and now currently having some moments here and there during the Dennis Allen era, and now having success with interim head coach Darren Rizzi. And that's unfortunate for the Who Dat Nation that Taysom Hill is going to be out for the year due to a torn ACL. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Arizona Cardinals in a close one, 23-22. So Sam Darnold play at a high level. Justin Jefferson making plays, doing what he does best, right? Jordan Addison is playing well as well. Aaron Jones, he scored a touchdown reception in this game. So the Vikings are, again, they're neck and neck with the Detroit Lions right now, who could be first place in the NFC North. So we'll have to pay attention to that. But the Vikings are right there, and they're not to be slept on either. They're playing at such a high level right now. And as far as the Arizona Cardinals are concerned, they are in the hunt, but they still have a solid shot at winning the NFC West. But the way the Seahawks have been playing right now and the Rams are starting to get into a little groove, it's going to be real tough. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals 44-38. So for the Steelers, quarterback Russell Wilson completed 29 out of 38 passes for 414 yards, 3 touchdown passes, and an interception. When you think of Pittsburgh, it's primarily defense and running game. But since Russell Wilson has become the starting quarterback, the identity is becoming more and more about the offense. They're getting the ball down the field. They're scoring points at will. And I believe, I could be wrong, I might have to look this up, but I believe the last time the Steelers scored 44 points was when Ben Roethlisberger was the starting quarterback. I may be right on that one, I don't know. But nevertheless, Russell Wilson, man, he's just what the doctor ordered for the Pittsburgh Steelers and that offense. And Mike Tomlin just continued to coach at a high level. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And certainly, Coach Tomlin, he's been having the hot hand for so long, and it's a continued tradition and a relationship that's built on consistency and winning between Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Washington Commanders beat the Tennessee Titans 42-19. Jaden Daniels was effective in this contest. Terry McLaurin, the all-world wide receiver, played a much better game. Brian Robinson Jr. played a much better game in this contest. The Titans just had no answers for the Commanders. The Los Angeles Chargers, big win over the Atlanta Falcons. The Chargers, one of the top defenses in the league. I talked about Philadelphia's defense being the best in the league, but the Chargers have a top 5 defense, and they shut Kirk Cousins and that Falcons offense down. It was just no answers, and the Chargers got to have a big one coming up next Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. That should be a good one with Justin Herbert as he takes on Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead. The Indianapolis Colts beat the New England Patriots in a close game, 25-24. Anthony Richardson, he played better in this game, and the Colts are still alive in the playoff hunt. They have a chance to be a wild card team. We'll see what happens, but Indianapolis, their best chances, they would have to win the remainder of their games. We had the Houston Texans take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans beat the Jaguars 23-20. It was unfortunate in the first half with quarterback Trevor Lawrence suffered a concussion after taking a nasty hit from Jaguars defender Azeez Al-Shire, and if you had a chance to see it, it was just a real dirty hit. It was a very uncalled for, just very low blow on that defender's part. And later on social media, Al-Shire apologized on social media to not only Trevor Lawrence but also to all of the football fans that watched that game and said that he made a mistake and totally uncalled for and unnecessary for him to do a dirty hit on Lawrence. And Trevor went on social media and said that he's feeling much better. He was out of the hospital in great spirits, and he's responding so much better. So we'll see what happens going forward. We'll see what happens as we go forward with the Trevor Lawrence situation. But again, the Houston Texans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-20. And then we had the Seattle Seahawks beat the New York Jets 26-21. You talk about a tale of two halves. In the first half, the Jets handled their business. In the second half, they lost business and then some. Man, Leonard Williams, how in the world did not only one New York team let him go, but another New York team let him go? Two New York teams let him go, both the Giants and the Jets. Leonard Williams was in his bag at the Meadowlands. He recorded 2 sacks, and he scored an interception return touchdown. Seattle has just been balling as of late. Geno Smith playing at a high level, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Everybody's playing at such a high level right now. You know who's not been playing at a high level this year? Aaron Rodgers. And you know what the sad part is? Aaron Rodgers most likely will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets in the 2025 season. A season that has fallen so far below expectations. This has been that season for the New York Jets. If you look at the Jets' remaining schedule, it's somewhat winnable, but in the NFL, you just never know. And the Jets let a 300-plus pound gentleman score a 96-yard interception return touchdown. How unreal is that? But that's the National Football League. It's never a dull moment, and man, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the New York Jets. What happens with Aaron Rodgers? Do they decide to bring him back? Or do they go through the draft and maybe try to go for Shedeur Sanders or maybe Travis Hunter? It's a lot at stake right now in this off season for the New York Jets. But the Seattle Seahawks, man, they have been playing at such a high level as of late. They're currently in first place in the NFC West, and Seattle is a team that's really under the radar right now. They're a team that's not to be played with, and if they get a home playoff game, a home wild card game, that could pose problems for whoever is going to go up against them. They play outdoors. It's chilly in Seattle around January. They've got a quarterback that can make plays. He doesn't turn the ball over too much. You've got a good running game with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and then you've got the receivers with Metcalf and Smith and Jigba. So Seattle could cause some serious problems from now and towards the end of the regular season.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.